Breastie? Welcome to episode 12 of my breast explant journey. I'm Carla Marie. If you are just joining at this episode for the first time, I highly recommend going back to episode 1 because this has certainly been a journey for me. I've had breast implants for 10 and a half years and I got them removed almost a month ago at this point. As of recording this, I am at day 26 of recovery. Things are going very smooth, but I do have some different updates and how recovery has been for me, and I think it'll be awesome for you to hear about that. I also have something that I saw in the breast implant illness Facebook group this week from a doctor. It's a letter from a doctor that a patient shared. I got permission to talk about it here, and it is infuriating, so we'll get to that. Just wait. What else do I have this week? That's pretty much it. I do want to talk about an update from my guest last week, Jamie. And if you are listening to this, check out the video at some point on YouTube because I very much look like I'm about to do a news broadcast about breast implants. I got paper notes this week. I have a map in front of me for nothing to do with breast implants, but that's what it looks like. So if you haven't checked out the YouTube videos for any of these episodes, go check it out. So first up, Jamie, who was my guest last week, she's incredible. She texted me and said, oh my God, I completely forgot to share this during the podcast. She wants everyone to know, if you have a rupture in one of your implants, you can contact whatever company, whatever manufacturer made them, and they offered her $3,500. And she said that's laughable because it barely covers any expenses. But note, once you take the money, you sign a waiver that says you can't sue them. So what she did is she dove into all these different lawsuits to see, okay, well, if I sue them, how much would I get? And she basically found that no one ever wins against these big companies, so she took the money. Just a note, if you're in this situation, do your own research, but if it's $0 or $3,500, I'm going to go with $3,500. So check that out if you think you have a rupture or do end up having a rupture. And let's talk about my recovery because honestly, I can't complain, but I will tell you the soreness and things that I've been going through and all of that. But man, this has been so much easier than getting breast implants put in. And I think that's very telling. I mean, obviously in that case, you are getting these things put in your body that don't belong there. There's no room for them. So your body's like, ow, and trying to stretch and do all the things. And, now I'm really just healing from the fact that my pec muscle, my chest muscle was pulled down and reattached inside, and the incisions. So I'm just like sore. That's like the best way to explain this for the most part. I use the word pain randomly because that's the first word that pops into my head when you're talking about something like this. But I think when I stub my toe, that hurts more than anything I've felt in this process for the most part. So except for when my mom yanked the drain, which she keeps telling me to stop bothering her about. But really, like a stubbed toe or dropping something on your foot, for me personally, has really hurt more in that quick second than anything I have felt in this process, except for my left nipple. It's insane. So I did have some soreness in both for a little bit, both my right and left. And I kept thinking it must be from the fact that I'm wearing a bra 24/7 because I have to, really, other than when showering. And now I get to take breaks during, my massages, which I'll get into. But I was like, that must be it. My nipples must be like folding or bending or whatever. Then I started noticing the right one feels like pretty good now. What is this left one doing? It hurts. And I have made some incredible breasties on the internet after posting this. I had a woman named Christina who messaged me. She also had a explant no lift. And she's really one of the only people I've been communicating with regularly that is in that same boat. Because if you remember, Lisa, Lala, almost everyone else that I had on had a lift. So their recovery is definitely different than mine. And Christina has been so incredible. I'm going to put a link to her Instagram. It's called BII Christina's Journey. And you can go check it out. She's been for years talking about her recovery. So it's really cool. But she's the one that's been like, no one prepares you for the nipple pain. I was like, literally, no one prepared me for this. So I am here to tell you that your nipples will be sore. I've never breastfed. I wonder if this is what it feels like because it's so sensitive. And I think it's something with the nerves reconnecting and all of that. And I'm hoping that goes away because that'll be real fun if it doesn't. But the left breast has been the problem child for most of this when it comes to the terms of discomfort. It's really where I felt the most. The right has been just a little sore. The left has been the sorest. But last Tuesday, after I recorded the podcast here with Anthony, I got to see the incisions for the first time. So I showered and I took off the incision tape and they actually look great. One of them looks different than the other. And that has been like my biggest qualm with this recovery is that them doing different things, the boobs and the incisions, what makes me concerned. I'm like, well, is this normal? Why is the other one not doing that? Even though Dr. Rankin told me they will heal completely different. And there is no rhyme or reason really to it. It's just what happens. So I keep chalking it up to the left is where your heart is. Maybe there's more nerves. That's why I'm feeling more. I don't know. I also know that's where I used to get those stabbing pains on that side. And I wonder if he had to scrape a little extra on that side. But the incisions, believe it or not, the left one looks better. So it's performing well there. The right one is a bit more puckered, is how Marina from the front desk at Aqua Plastic described it. It's just like it's so weird. A puckered is the best way to describe it. So I'm doing my massages. Marina said it's completely normal. Keep doing the massage. And by massage, I'm taking bio oil and I'm just rubbing on the incision. For the most part, the scabs are even gone now as of recording this. At first, there was one part of the left incision that, not that it was open, but it actually looked so good. Like there was no puckering whatsoever, no scarring, not scarring. It just looked like a slit in my skin. I was like, oh my God, is it not sealed? But it is sealed, which is good. So for the most part, I'm just rubbing over the incision and then kind of massaging the scar tissue that I feel. Almost feels like there's pearls underneath them, but I can start to feel some of them go away, which is exciting. So I use bio oil for that, which I love. I also use it on my face. I've been using it 10, 12 years at this point. So it's really great for dry skin, smells amazing. Big fan of it. And also scars. Then 2 days later, I started massaging the breast tissue. And that was like so weird at first. Again, the right, not bad at all. The left is where I feel the most soreness when I'm doing it. And I can feel scar tissue bumps in there. And it's, as a woman, it's like scary. I'm like, well, at what point of this recovery in a year am I like, oh no, I feel a lump? What do I do? So that's a conversation I will be having with Dr. Rankin at my follow-up appointment, because it's so weird feeling that in there because we're so trained to be like, oh my God, bump, go to the doctor. Right now I know exactly what it is. So I'm massaging that. On the breast tissue, I've been using, I think it's coconut oil, not for any specific reason other than I don't want to waste my bio oil if there's no scar there. So I've been doing that. I have to do the breast tissue massages 5 to 10 minutes per breast twice a day for at least a year. So it's a commitment. On my paperwork, it literally says, like, treat it like brushing your teeth. So I've been doing that. I'll just put on Netflix and massage my boobs. It's great, New hobby of mine. It's all, I want to recover the best that I can. I want to follow every single thing I'm supposed to do so that I can't look back and be like, oh, I wish I did that. I wish I did what they told me to do. I'm really trying. So doing the breast tissue massages, I have noticed that there is some more swelling. And also last week, I was able to start lifting my arms above my head. And if you're watching this on video, I can go all the way up. I feel some soreness or just stiffness, I guess, in my armpits, which I'm going to be getting a lymphatic massage, I think, next week. And I hope that'll help with that. But I started lifting my arms above my head last Thursday, that at the 3-week mark, like my paperwork said to, and doing the massages. And I didn't like the way it felt on my incisions doing that stretch. And I was starting to get some swelling. And Dee, patient care coordinator who was on episode 2, said maybe just give it a few more days. Wait till next week to start lifting your arms some more. So I did. And it definitely feels better now with the incisions. So that's great. I do have some swelling under I'd say the sides maybe, and under the breast where the implant was. So to kind of paint this picture for you, I have my breast tissue that's there. The implants were a much bigger circle behind my breast tissue, and they hung lower. And there's like this pocket essentially under my boobs, that I can kind of still see. And I was told it would likely go down over time, and it started to. And now I can see a little more again. And I'm guessing it's just the overall swelling, because it's right where the incision is, and I'm pushing on it. So I have been icing them every night before bed, at least every night before bed. I do it a few times a day when I can. Such a weird thing to ice because you have to lay down and not move. So I can't really do it while I'm at the office or the studio. But so far, it's been good. They honestly look great. I can't complain. One is definitely bigger than the other. Like I said to Anthony last week, they have different personalities, and that's okay. There was a comment in the Facebook group one woman posted, and I loved it. She said it's been a while since she had her explant. She was looking in the mirror, being like sad about it, and her husband was like, "What's wrong?" She's like, "I don't know. They look different. One's this, one's that." And he goes, like, "Why do you care? I don't analyze the fact that my balls look different and one hangs lower than the other." And she shared that for other women. I was like, damn, it is so true. And we overanalyze everything. I'm guilty, but being aware of it is so important. Be kinder to yourself today. Don't overanalyze your boobs or your testicles. Anyway, back to recovery. I really do feel good, but I will say everyone who told me that week 3 is the worst was correct, because the soreness after massaging and the swelling was like just annoying. It was so sore to a point where I was like, I just want to be home. I didn't want to be out and about, and that was kind of annoying when like week 1 I was just, oh yeah, sure, I'll go wherever. So that was interesting, but I'm still on and off sleeping on the wedge because it's been the most comfortable, because I have to sleep on my back. I can side sleep with a soft pillow now, but if I put the pillow under the side of my breast, but I don't know. I feel like let me just stay on the back to keep them from not getting squished. And the most comfortable way I've been able to back sleep is sleeping on this wedge. Who knew? I'm glad I got it. Again, I will make a full list of the things I've been using. I really wanted to see what I liked and didn't like before I started recommending it. I'm hoping to work on that this week. So if you are explanting, I'm doing it. I promise. So now I have to do it, and I won't edit that part out. I have been wearing regular clothes, not just button-up shirts. So it's been cool putting on some of my clothes that, even just t-shirts, like literally a t-shirt I put on, I was like, this fits so much better now. And it looks better on me. So that's been cool. But I may get to wear a bathing suit this weekend, but I didn't really think about that at all in this process. And that is definitely something that is not going to fit this time around unless I have a super small one. So we'll see how that works out. I can start submerging my incisions in pools, oceans, all of that. It's weird to think of already, but I do have the approval, so we'll see. And one thing that we discovered early on that was definitely different is Anthony gave me a hug, and he was like, "Whoa, you're so much closer." And I was like, "You're so right." And I saw a post about it today, and it was like, hugs will feel different. Like you will feel heartbeat to heartbeat. And it's just been, I don't know, it's bizarre. You're closer. I'm not doing like huge, big hugs yet because I can't. But for someone like Anthony that knows not to squeeze me, and I can do that, it is bizarre feeling how close I am to him, because I mean, I've never been that close because I've always had the breast implants from when I've been hugging him like that. I knew him before, but it's just weird. It is just something so bizarre that I never realized before. And now when I do it, I think about how weird it definitely felt while having the implants in. There's a lot. I'm really excited to discover this new old new body, however to put it. It's been a lot of fun. But let's also talk about the sinuses, because that is the number one thing people keep reaching out to me for. Like, how are your sinuses? Are they improved? That is probably because it was the one thing that was the most extreme, and that's crazy. Like, how is sneezing from your implants? And the other thing that our audience during the live show was probably affected by the most, because I'd be blowing my nose with 20 tissues during our show. So I'd say over the last 4 to 5 days, I've seen 20 to 30% improvement. last night. I only took one antihistamine versus two. I tried that last week as well, trying not to test it too much on a day when I have something super important, because if it does get bad, it's not going to be fun. But I'm feeling good. I sneezed 4 times today, which is minimal. There were days where it'd be 30, 50, 60 times. Like, it was bad. So I do feel much better. I had a friend reach out to me who is thinking about removing her implants, and she's had major sinus issues, have had surgeries for it, and talked to her ENT about it. And he even said, the only way to know if your implants are causing this is to remove them, but that silicone does affect the way our body reacts to our allergies. And I thought that was so interesting. I'm seeing an ENT next month, and I will obviously be bringing this up. I just want to know if there's a way that I can cleanse it and move this process along, because from what I understand is you detox, or even when having the implants, silicone can get into your nasal passages and just kind of stay there and line them. So I'm hoping this ENT understands and gets it. And if not, on to the next one. I'll keep you updated on how that appointment goes. What else did I want to hit about recovery? I haven't had to sit out of many things. I think I went into this expecting to be bedridden, and I haven't been. I even went to my first concert, which I will say was nerve-wracking. I was truly walking around with my arms as an X in front of me, because I was so scared people were going to bump into me, but I was fine. But yeah, recovery overall been awesome. Let me talk about the most frustrating thing that I have seen in this last week. So I have talked about the Facebook breast implant illness group. It's over 190,000 women in there now. When I joined that group, I think 7-8 years ago at this point, it was maybe a couple thousand, maybe under 10,000. It's fascinating to see how many women are in there and sharing their stories and asking questions and feeling validated. And I think that is probably one of the best gifts that group has given women. So there was a woman who shared the story in there. I got her permission to share it. I won't say her name or the doctor's name. I don't need any lawsuits, so don't have time for that. I am going to read something that she posted in there. So originally she said she went to a consult at a plastic surgeon, and she purposely didn't bring up breast implant illness. She just wasn't going to do that. I know she was looking to get a letter for insurance because she was definitely not feeling great. She was definitely sick. Telling the doctor some symptoms of, or what she's been feeling, what her day-to-day is. He was asking her a lot of questions about that, and he kept bringing up, well, it sounds like breast implant illness. She was like, okay. Then he gives her the letter of what she should send to her insurance company. I'm going to read an excerpt of that letter. A lot of the rest of the stuff, I'm going to admit, it's just not necessary. It's about the procedure and whatever. This is what he says. In any event, the patient has various aches and pains and symptoms that she now associates with implants. It appears that she has fallen into the, quote, breast implant illness, and, quote, hysteria that is sweeping social media and the internet. The patient was informed that extensive studies have been done which fail to connect the breast implants with any of these symptoms. But there has been a very high rate of improvement of the symptoms with patients having their implants removed and the symptoms disappearing so quickly. That is fairly obvious that this is a psychological overlay with this issue. Few things here. This doctor, and again, this is what the patient said. She didn't bring up breast implant illness, the doctor did. So first off, he says she now equates this with breast implant illness, which is not what she said happened. So that's not how she recalled the appointment. He also calls breast implant illness hysteria, which is so frustrating because anytime women think of anything about their bodies, how they feel, truly anything, it's a hysteria. That's it. Hysteria, because it's hysterical. It can't be real. We're crazy. He goes on to say that there have been numerous studies that have been done that don't prove that there is a link. When that is factually inaccurate, there have been studies that link. I mean, you can literally link it to cancer. There are implants that are linked to cancer done. That is a fact. Okay. He also goes on to say that the symptoms do go away when the implants are removed. But he equates that to the fact that this is psychological. And let's just say with my sinuses right now, okay? So with the moment that I'm feeling, they've been great for 5 days. That has never happened in 3 years. So was I psychologically making myself sneeze and my nose run every day? There are so many women that can tell you, I stopped sneezing, or my face literally looks different. This body rash has gone away. Are we making ourselves sneeze and changing our faces? Like, it's bizarre. All the comments on this post were, do not go to this doctor. That you don't want that, especially if he is misquoting you on top of just saying this is hysteria. So I can't wait to have on a future guest, Dr. Elizabeth Coleman. She is the author of All in Her Head. The reason I haven't had her on yet is because I haven't finished the book, and I feel like I need to do my homework, but I am going to ask her about this letter because it drove me insane when I read it. My jaw dropped. So that is really all I have today. I figured we should end there. I wish I had something more positive to end on, but I do, really. That Facebook group is an incredible resource for women. It's always linked in the description of this podcast. I do also have a one-stop shop for every piece of information I have or recommend about breast implant illness. I put it in a Google Drive. That's also linked below. So whether it's guest information, all of that, it's all in one space for you. So again, that's below. I'm also going to add Christina, who I mentioned earlier, her Instagram discussing her breast explant journey. And to those of you that have been emailing me with ideas for future episodes or just telling me your story, thank you. It's incredible to see them and hear them, your emails and your messages on Instagram, wherever. It means so much, and I want you to know that I am so grateful for that. Again, if you want to share your story or come on a podcast or have me read something, email hello@carlamarieandanthony.com. And yeah, thank you for being here. I am heading to New Jersey where I will be the commencement speaker at my high school graduation. It's going to be 100 degrees, so wish me luck, but I'm excited that I get to do this just a month after surgery. I feel great. Thank you again for being here, for believing this. I hate that I have to thank people for believing women when they say they don't feel well, but thank you. We need more of that. Until next week, peace out, breasties.